Okay, before we start this video, I need to just get it off my chest, and probably about 75% of the Thunder fan base. I do not forgive Kevin Durant for what he did. I remember the day. I remember July 4th, 2016. Probably an afternoon. 16 years old. Probably going to, summertime, do my thing. But besides that, gotta get it off my chest. I do not forgive that guy in the slightest. Respect the game. Think he's a legend. Was my favorite player. Shout out SGA now. I do not forgive him, and I think I speak for a majority of Thunder fans when I say this. Now let's get into the breakdown. Besides having the absolute just disgust for Kevin Durant and just resentment for him, it's undeniable that he's the best player in franchise history for the Thunder and the Sonics. Don't care what anyone says. Bring up anyone on the Sonics. Best player in franchise history. Used to be my favorite player. Game is just amazing. Offensive mastermind is the word. Wizard. But before I get on a Kevin Durant rant, that tongue to it, Kevin Durant rant. Or before I get on a tongue twister and go on a Kevin Durant rant, I want to talk about the 2011-2012 final squad against this current squad. Because that squad went to the finals, and we're going to go through it. We ain't going to jump ahead, but we're going to go through it. The teams they had to face to get to the finals was insane because the West is just always stacked. Every year, hasn't changed. Same thing now, just stacked. So we're going to compare that final squad, their individual stats, their regular season stats, their finals run, each series, and compare it to this team now. Because I think it's a great comparison because this team now has championship aspirations. They're playing so well. Number one in the West by a far margin. Defense is amazing. Shaw's playing at MVP level. So I just thought this would be a perfect breakdown. Haven't seen anyone really talk about it. So let's get into it. To start off, let's talk about that Thunder team's regular season. They went 47-19 behind KD scoring, would win the scoring title this year. Russell Westbrook being an absolute menace. If you know, you know. We're going to get into it. I'm going to show you. A menace, absolute menace. The guy should have worn just black Air Forces, just been a menace, is a menace, was a menace. Ibaka would lead the league in total blocks, averaging 3.7 for the year, and James Harden would be Sixth Man of the Year and would never, ever go to a bench role again, as we all know. This was good for number 2 in the West, just behind the Spurs. KD would go on to average 28 points per game, 3.5 assists, 8 rebounds, 1.2 blocks, and 1.3 steals. Reading 28 points per game sounds ridiculous because guys are just blowing that out of the water now. Like, absolutely destroying that number. I think the top 3 guys for points per game, Jokic, Giannis, and SGA, are well above 30. Well above. That's a 4-point differential. Just to put in perspective. And you see guys on the bench doing 30, doing 40. Shout out my boy Aaron Wiggins, just put up a 41 bomb. 41 bomb. Cool. 41 bomb. See, this is exactly what they're talking about when they say looks could be deceiving. Do not let this picture fool you. This man right here, this man was postering your favorite center in 2011. I swear, postering him. Don't let this fool you. Don't let it. It might fool some. But that man was a menace. Menace. Crazy to look at this picture, but still, menace. But besides that, Russell Westbrook would go on to average 23.6 points, 5.5 assists, 4.6 rebounds, 1.7 steals. And this is exactly what I was waiting to get in. This guy was one of the most athletic guards I have ever seen. If not, it was him and Derrick Rose during this time. Like, I've never seen guards more athletic than them two. Derrick Rose was hitting the acrobatic layups on top of the posters and dunks. And this guy, matter of fact, I'm not even going to tell you. Just roll the film. Roll it right now.
Nasty. Blowing by 3 defenders. Westbrook using a couple of screens.
Hey, wait a minute.
Evolution.
And clogging the lane.
Sefolosha, 17-point loss came earlier this week to Denver. Look at Durant. Lost the ball. Oh, nice behind the back from Wall. Scott Brooks is halfway back up the floor after that.
The big man down low, Serge Ibaka, would go on to average 9.1 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3.7 blocks, and 0.4 assists. 3.7 blocks, deadly. But I swear this is one, if this is a very important, him, and we're going to go on to it, Kendrick Perkins, I swear their offensive, Ibaka wasn't a liability. But the 3-point wasn't as developed yet. So 3-level scorers really weren't too prominent. But going against Chris Bosh in this finals, levels, I don't care what no one says, levels above Ibaka offensively. Levels above Ibaka offensively. Kendrick Perkins, complete liability on offense. We'll get into that too, but I'm telling you, important piece. Them and the role players, important piece. Because star for star, Westbrook and KD were banging that thing. I'm telling you, they were banging that thing. 20 bomb, 25, 30, 25, 30. Both of them going back. I think Westbrook even had a 43 piece in one of them, or 41. Back to back. But Ibaka and Perkins and the rest of the role players, I swear they let down KD and Westbrook. I swear. Here, James Harden would go on to average 16.8 points, 4.1 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 1 steal. As we all know, 6th man of the year this year, and would never see the bench again unless he was already going 35-5. I was absolute dog right when he left the Thunder. He was a dog for the Thunder too. Mistake. Let me take that back. Was always a dog, but when he left the Thunder, the level maybe I'll make a video on Houston James Harden, because Houston James Harden, scary. I'm telling you, these young bucks, they don't know about Houston Rocket James. I might have to.
On the floor, he can do turnarounds. He has one of the best footworks inside. You have no idea how good.
But going on the list, you had Thabo Sefolosha. I forgot to name him as the offensive liability too. 3-and-D guy. I want to say career for 35 to 40% 3-point shooter, but the 3 wasn't as developed. I'm talking this guy was shooting max 3 to 5 threes a night. Maybe not even. Probably 3 to 4 threes a night on average, with 4.8 points averaged. 3 rebounds, 1.1 assists. 3-and-D guy, but the 3, like I said, wasn't as developed, so hard to call him a 3-and-D guy compared to the guys now. But that was his role for the Thunder. The abysmal big man down low, and Kendrick Perkins. Abysmal big man, because forgive me again. Just a little angry because this team frustrated me. Watching them, because really thought they were going to go on and beat the Heat, but they did not. Not even close. But he brought the grit in the grind. That's really what he did for the Thunder squad. And it is an important role. It is an important role for young teams to have kind of a seasoned guy in the league. He had played for the Celtics previously already for, maybe 8 years plus, 9 years. So he was a vet already. And he brought the grit, the grind, the anger to the team. Helped in situation. Guy was always getting texts, always stepping up for teammates. So he was a good teammate. Just ain't help us win a ring, man. I'll tell you that. He would average 5.1 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 1.2 assists with 0.9 blocks and offensive liability, like we said before. Now that we've taken care of the regular season and we talked about their individual stats for the regular season, KD would go on to win scoring title. James Harden, of course, 6th man. Let's talk about their playoff run. This young Thunder squad would go on the first round, to face the defending champs and Dirk Nowitzki. They did lose Tyson Chandler this year. Big blow, low-key, down low. Very big blow. Guy won Defensive Player of the Year that year. Big blow down low. But they had to go on to face Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Terry, Jason Kidd, Sean Marion in the first round. Young Thunder squad. Don't forget. In hindsight, we know KD a Hall of Famer. Russ is probably a Hall of Famer. There's a young Thunder squad. A lot of people didn't know how this series, if it was going to be easy. Let me tell you, it was easy. It was easy. They would sweep the Mavs 4-zip game one, where with 15 seconds on the clock, KD would hit a game-winning shot and would send Dirk and them flying. Go ahead. Again, roll the clip.
It's in the hands of Durant, the scoring champ from the top against Marion. Durant, pull-up jumper, off the rim, and with 1.5 left, no timeouts, Marion on the deck. Marion didn't put it up, and the Thunder win!
KD would go on to average 26.5 points for this series, helping the Thunder sweep the Mavs. After sweeping the Mavs 4-0 behind KD scoring, the Thunder would go on yet again, after just facing the defending champions, would go on to face Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol. Once again, people weren't sure. Didn't know if they could get it done. Yep, Kobe was aging. He was at the end of his career. Don't get me wrong. These were the young guys. But people weren't sure. Let me tell you how that series went. 4-1. Once again, the Thunder would make easy work of the Lakers, beating them 4-1 and sending them packing. Westbrook would absolutely come alive this series. Like, I mean, come alive. This guy was elbow shots, money. Wing shots, money. Easy. This was prime Westbrook. The guy was explosive, hitting the lane, crashing boards, doing everything on defense. The guy was electric. Motor was one of the best motors I've seen in this league. Westbrook would average 25.6 points this series and had the most points scored in 3 separate games, scoring 27 in Game 1, then in Game 4 scoring 37, and then in Game 5 in Oklahoma scoring 28 to send the Lakers packing. Westbrook, absolutely electric. And maybe now after beating the defending champs, after beating Kobe and Pau Gasol, Hall of Famers, and they won a ring maybe 2-3 years ago. Literally 2-3 years ago out. So 2 defending champs, quote unquote. You think maybe it can't be too bad in the 3rd round. No, let me stop you there. Face Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, and a young Kawhi Leonard. Yep, that's who they had to face. I know everyone talks about that finals run for the Mavs, but I swear if this Thunder squad would have won, we'd be talking about it close to the same way. I'm telling you. Quote me now. Let's get on to this series, though. The Thunder finished the regular season as the number 2 seed, so they would have to go to San Antonio and play the first 2 games. How do you think these games went? Different. Yep. I know I caught you off guard this time. For the first time in these playoffs, the Thunder team would be on the ropes, losing the first 2 games. Being down 2-0, they would have to rally behind KD scoring for the next 4 games, winning the next 4 games back to back, beating the Spurs 4-2 and sending them boys to Cancun. When I mean it was a scoring clinic, it was a scoring clinic. KD 25, 27, 31, boom, packing them boys. Now, the team rallied behind KD. KD had to turn up, but the team did rally. Everyone helped and came through. The boys were nervous watching this at first. We thought we was going to Cancun. But the scoring clinic KD put on this series was crazy. Like I said, 22, 36, 27, 34. The chemistry was just amazing. Westbrook would go on to average 5+ assists for the series, and Ibaka just continued to do Ibaka things. If you know Ibaka, Ibaka. After going through 3 different series with 3 different Hall of Fame caliber players on each team, maybe, just maybe, the Thunder finally would catch a break in the finals. They made it to the promised land. How much worse could it possibly get? They just played Kobe, Dirk, Tim Duncan, all-time great guys. How much worse could it get? Boom, another smack in the face. LeBron James. LeBron James. I'm going to name the other guys. Trust me, we're going to get into it. But they had to go face prime LeBron James. And let me tell you at this point, as a 16-year-old kid, No one could have told me LeBron was better than KD. I know it now. I know it now. I swallowed the pill in high school. I know it now. But trust, back then, the world couldn't tell me LeBron was better than KD. It was stamped by Meditalk Sports that KD was the best player in the world. No one could tell me wrong. But of course, our young Thunder squad couldn't catch the break and would have to go face LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, this guy with great hair who shoots from three and never misses, Mike Miller, the bald head guy, Shane Battier, who you could see from a mile away, but also just 3-and-Ds from deep. Of course, Mario Chalmers, Mario Chalmers. Of course. Udonis, let's not forget the legend Udonis. And I'm talking about prime LeBron. Like, he was, I need more space, but he was hitting the dunks like, you know the signature one, that behind the, yeah, all that, the famous, the iconic picture, right? The iconic picture with Dwayne Wade when he throws the oop and he's flying like, and everyone catches the flick, and yeah, that's the prime LeBron they had to face. That's what they were in for after facing that entire list of Hall of Famers. Amazing, and I swear, young Thunder fan, easy win. I swear, I was telling it, easy win. I swear. I told you, no one could tell me. No one could tell me KD wasn't better than LeBron. Russell Westbrook, about to come in there, Black Air Force activity. I knew the script. I knew it. Did it go that way? No. But I swear, on paper, it's 4-1. I swear. But if you know ball and you watch. We're going to roll the film.
That could lose the game. They have a foul to give. Durant on the drive, shot short. Westbrook lost it. James has it. And they foul James. Durant wanted a foul.
Where they should have been up 2-0. 2-0. That's 2-0. 2-0. Not one. Should have been up 2-0 on that Miami Heat prime team. After Dorgan, look at what they did. Getting a little I apologize. I'm a Thunder fan. Getting a little riled up. Whew. Okay. Where we at? KD and Westbrook. These guys were electric. KD would score 36, 32, 25, 28, and 32. 36, 32, 25, 28, 32. The guy didn't go under 25 for 5 games. What were Westbrook's scores? You're thinking maybe Westbrook ain't do too good. Maybe Westbrook he wasn't the guy, that duo. That's why KD left, right? No. 27, 19, 43. Like I said, 43 on top of KD's 36, 32, 25, 28, 32. You think maybe 4-3 the series, 4-1. Why? Like I said before, yes, Kendrick Perkins brought grit. He brought anger. He brought a lot, standing up for team. He brought the veteran leadership, chemistry, of course, all those things. But he was an offensive liability. Even defense, he wasn't even that great on defense. He wasn't that great on defense. We had Ibaka. Ibaka was our defense guy. No disrespect to Kendrick, but he couldn't do much. We were facing Chris Bosh. Man. Facing Chris Bosh. And I would argue that Udonis Haslem is a better role center power forward than Kendrick Perkins is at that time. And not only Kendrick, Ibaka too. Like I said, the offensive game wasn't as developed. The guy was averaging 9 points on the season. 9 points. Yes, he was holding down the paint, but Chris Bosh was a 3-level scorer at the time. We didn't see Serge Ibaka shoot threes until he was on the Magic. A guy was shooting maybe one three a game, maybe, and it was because the clock was running out. He was never behind the arc. It was pick and rolls, elbow shots, wing shots, elbow shots, mid-range. It wasn't as developed. And besides the starting lineup, the role players, we could go to the role players. We had an aging Derek Fisher. This Thunder squad had an aging Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher, a legend, low-key. For all the ball heads, Derek Fisher, a legend. Wasn't amazing, but he's a legend. But I'll tell you one thing. He was not going to get it done against LeBron James. The guy LeBron was flying. And like I said, Derek Fisher wasn't going to get it done. Who else was on the bench? Nick Collison. Legend. A legend for Thunder fans. A legend. But Nick Collison. I love me Nick Collison. I love me some Nick Collison. Dope guy. Dope role player. But Nick Collison was on the bench, man. It wasn't going to get it done. KD was averaging, almost 30. Russell Westbrook had a 43-point game. What was Tabo doing? Nothing. James Harden, bucket getter. We're going to get into it. Bucket getter. But it was their three scoring. LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh against James Harden, KD scoring, and Westbrook. Ibaka was an offensive liability. He was for offense a role player. Look at the stats. Look at the numbers. He was a role player. And their role players were more impactful than the Thunder role players, and this is why they lost, in my opinion. You could argue in the comments below. Go ahead. Free to. I would love to answer them, but in my opinion, this is why. This is exactly why they did not stand a chance to that team. Mike Miller was out here just important three, bang, corner, three, bang. Mario Chalmers, great defense, steal, lane, up, LeBron, yeah. Just these little things that the role players on the Thunder were really not doing. Go watch the tape. Kills me to say, because I went to this series thinking, whoa, we have a shot. But no, it was KD. And the Thunder would go on, like I said before, to lose 4-1, and they would end the season and never get back to the finals in franchise history again. And now this is why I want to compare them to this current squad, because that team never won the finals. This Thunder squad was 1 year ago, 2 games out. And you could argue literally if Shaw doesn't foul P.J. Washington that we push. It was real close, I swear. Shaw doesn't do that foul. Could be a different series. But this is why I want to compare them, because how they look now, this 2025 squad, they look good, man. They look real good, man. I'm not gonna lie, this team looks good. When you go 5 for 5, it's hard to pick. I know you guys are saying KD, Westbrook, James Harden, but this hindsight, we're not taking the James Harden from Houston. This is James Harden. We got to take his stats and the role he was playing for this Thunder team then. We cannot account Houston James Harden. We're comparing 2011, 2012 to this current squad. Just before, let's make sure we're all clear on that, okay? Because this be a whole different conversation if we're talking about Houston Rockets James Harden. Okay? Okay. Going into the individual stats of this current roster, SGA is averaging 32.5 points, 5.2 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block, shooting 53.3 from the field. J-Dub, the boy, shout out to him, getting his first All-Star selection this year. Definitely seeing increase in his game. I can't wait to see him with Chet in the pick and roll, because the Isaiah pick and roll has been great. But J-Dub's averaging 21.1 points, 5.5 rebounds, 5.2 assists, and 1.8 steals, shooting 47.5% from the field. And this is what I was talking about before. Jalen has very, very, very similar numbers to Westbrook. Not the same player. Definitely not as athletic as Westbrook, not even close. But a better three-point shooter, I would say equal defender. He's taller, so he's more lengthy and could play all the positions up to 4. He could play 1 through 4. Westbrook cannot play 1 through 4. And I would say Westbrook is a better facilitator, of course. He is definitely 100%, but the play would be very similar. And that's why Shaw and Jalen, in my opinion, are very, very equal to Westbrook and KD. Isaiah Hardenstein. Thank you, Knicks, for not re-signing him, because this guy, I would argue, is the best, one of the best off-season signings this year. I think he's better than Caruso. I think he's more important for the team right now than Caruso. course, Caruso has been very impactful and one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, and he's going to be so useful in the playoffs. But Isaiah has just done everything and been a playmaker that I was not familiar with. I was a little bit from last year with the Knicks, but this year, I feel like it's elevated. Isaiah Hartenstein averages 11.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 4.3 assists, shooting 55.4% from the field. Take with a grain of salt. We're gonna talk about Chet's stats. We're gonna talk about Chet with the minimum games he played. So these could vary. Whenever you're watching this video, it could be a completely different. Who knows? He's coming back from an injury. I think he's coming back from injury against Toronto this week. So keep in mind this could change a little bit. 18.4 points, 8.7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2.6 blocks. Compare one less than Ibaka, but very comparable because he's second year actually healthy. And he's shooting 50% from the field. Lou Dort, our 3-and-D guy, 9.9 points, 4.3 rebounds, 1.7 assists, shooting 42% from three-point with 1 steal a game. Let's talk about the defensive rating for the defense and offensive rating for the 2011 squad. It was 107.2 defensive rating, and that was good for number 15 in the NBA at the time, and a 111-12 offensive rating, which was good for number 15. Current roster's defensive rating stands at 104.2, which is largely behind SGA and Jalen Williams, because I said Chet has been injured and hard to equate his defense in those blocks. But SGA, let me get Lou Dort, let me get everyone in there. Defense has been superb, and like we see, they're number 1 in the NBA for defense with a 104.2 defensive rating. The offensive rating is sitting at 117.3, number 6 in the NBA. And could we just compare the differential? That's a 5-point differential, and that's good for number 6 in the NBA. Like I said before, the difference in the NBA offensively, how it changed in just 10 years, a decade is a long time, but it's just crazy. That's a 5-point differential, and they're ranked number 6 compared to number 5. 111 was good for number 5. 117 is good for number 6 now. Offensive rating is the one that they're very similar. So I do believe their offensive ratings would be similar, and they play the same type of offense, fast-paced. They run through two or three of their stars offensively, and they have a good defense around them. But the defensive rating is the big difference. Look at their ranking. The 2011-2012 team is number 15. 15. That's a middle-of-the-pack team. Middle of the pack. 30 teams in the league are literally sitting at the midway mark. This current team is number 1. I feel like that's going to push them over that. I think it does push them over the edge, honestly. But we're going to keep diving into this. Let's talk about the other players, the roles, etc. When we look at this team 5 versus 5, I would argue, don't kill the messenger. But in my opinion, the current squad's better. The current starting 5 it's better. It's better. The argument I make is Russell Westbrook and KD would put up similar stats. I'm not saying they're equal. They would put up similar stats to SGA and Jalen. Argue in the comments below. If I'm lying, I'm flying. But they would put up similar numbers. The guy SGA just put up another 50 piece. Jalen, first All-Star selection, same thing as Westbrook. Putting up those same identical numbers, 20, 5, and around 5 rebounds. Shooting efficient from the 3 too. So I would say those guys would put up equal numbers. They're not equal players. They would put up equal numbers. When you compare Lou Dort to Thabo, what do you guys think? I showed you guys the stats. Tell me what you guys think. What do you think based off the stats? Those stats, I know people don't like stats. People don't like to be picky by just reading stats because they say you don't understand the game. And of course, I'm with that too. You have to really watch it. You can't just read stats. I watched it. I've been watching it for 15 years now. I've been watching it for 15 years now. Lou Dort is more advanced than Thabo was. Thabo might be an inch or two taller. I think Lou Dort's sitting at 6'4", 6'5", and Thabo was sitting at 6'5", 6'6", maybe. Maybe an inch or two difference. But defensively, Lou Dort's better. 3, more developed, as you could see. The guy in that 2011-2012 season had a 40% percent shooting, probably on two or three shots a night. Like I said, 3 or 4 3-points a night. The guy Lou Dort shooting 42% from the three. Like I said, I would say Lou Dort is better. You can make an argument in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys got to say about that. This might be another tough nail to swallow too for some people, because I know a lot of people love Ibaka, and I think Chet is better than Ibaka. He's a 3-level scorer. What we talked about before would held back, I believe, the Thunder in the finals against the Heat. Ibaka wasn't a 3-level scorer yet, or at least he wasn't an efficient 3-level scorer. Chet's a 3-level scorer who could play make himself, dribble, which Ibaka couldn't do. Like I said, had to be pick and roll, catch, pop from the elbow, pop from the wing, inside mid-range, or paint, or back up, post work. That's it. Chet could stand you up front, take you dribble move, and then hit a midi as a 7-footer. And he brings the same type of defense that Ibaka did. You could say it's a little, it's down 1 block on average. But to be honest, he's in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation if Wemby's not in the league. Wemby unanimous. Don't get me wrong. The guy's alien. But it's an argument that Chet's an amazing defensive player, and he's probably top 5, top 10 in the league when he's healthy. Then we go on to the, do I even got to get into this breakdown? I feel like everyone knows this. Like, if you watch ball, I mean, you could even just do stat picking. Like, if you want, you don't even got to watch ball. We talked about stat picking, but man, if you just watch ball, you know Isaiah Hartenstein is a better center than Kendrick Perkins ever was. I haven't looked at all his Celtic stats, but I could confidently say his career in Oklahoma does not compare to Isaiah's stats in Oklahoma at this point. Not even in the slightest. Might have been on some winning teams for them. Went to the playoffs a bunch of times, but Isaiah is such a better center, playmaker. Maybe not defender, maybe not, because he get a little soft belly sometimes, I'm not going to lie, but he's a playmaker, double guy every night. The guy Kendrick was nowhere near these stats, half on each, probably literally half on each. I just don't see the comparison on. And don't worry, I did not forget about James Harden. Of course, we have to talk about him because he was so vital to that team's success. I know this sounds crazy. Hot take, super hot take right here. I already know. I truly believe, if you've been watching the Thunder play this year, Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins have been killing it. I truly believe that they could replicate his exact role offensively, and I think they're better defensively. I said it. 100%. 100% they're better defensively. And I think they could easily fill the role offensively that he was filling for that 2011-2012 squad. Not only, we talked about Aaron Wiggins earlier, 41-piece earlier in the year. But Zay too. Did you guys see that game in Madison Square Garden? I think he had 6 threes before half. 6 threes. These guys are shooting the lights out. They could keep up offensively 100,000%. And you see this guy right here? This guy? Yep, right here. Look, you see this look at this jump shot. Do you think this jump shot was going to get it done against prime LeBron? Look at this. Derek Fisher, a legend. He is a vet guy. He's like 40-something, but vet and a legend. But that broken jump shot was doing nothing against Mike Miller's smooth, buttery 3. Just nothing. I'm telling you, these role players stood no chance of the Heat role players. But I think that's enough of you guys hearing me talk about Oklahoma. You guys are probably tired of it. Yeah, probably a little bit. I would love to know what everyone thinks. Let me know below, please, because I know 100,000 people, 100,000 now viewing this. I know there's going to be a handful of people that probably don't agree with what I say, because you have three Hall of Famers. I gotta give Westbrook his Hall of Fame. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer, MVP, Mr. Triple Double. He's gonna get it just because he broke that record too, and he did bring us to a playoffs with no one on our team in that year. So Big respect to him. But 3 Hall of Famers against this team who hasn't really accomplished much. Hasn't really accomplished anything. So I would understand why a lot of people would go with that Kevin Durant squad. But please, let me know in the comments below. This is my first sports video, and I've been dying to make sports video, and I just haven't. So I would appreciate a like, a sub, and just let me know what you guys think below.